We, as baseball fans, just witnessed one of the greatest pitching performances in MLB history for two teams simultaneously, as for nearly 15 full innings, the Tigers and Mariners would see time and time again their staffs bend but not break, trading high-wire act escapes like punches in a boxing match. But, alas, someone had to come away with the victory, and it would indeed end up being Seattle, walking off Detroit over 5 hours after first pitch. This was, of course, a draining experience for those on the opposing side, one so much so that their radio broadcast actually ended up swearing on a hot mic immediately after.
We get tired.
Fuck this game recap.
Perhaps a fitting end to what was an incredibly frustrating game to lose. Despite the final score, things would begin pretty well offensively for the Mariners, as in the bottom of the second, Josh Naylor would line a double down the left field line on a check swing. Certainly an impressive feat considering it was on a triple-digit fastball out of the zone, before then almost immediately stealing third base, in a fashion he's done pretty much the entire season. He might be one of the slowest players in baseball, but he's turned himself into one of the best pure base stealers. And this extra 90 feet would prove crucial, as Mitch Garver would then drive a fly ball to center field soon after, staking Seattle to a 1-0 cushion. And from here, nothing, and I really can't emphasize how much nothing, would happen until the top of the sixth, with the only real notable thing occurring offensively being in a negative capacity for the Mariners, who struck out 7 times in a row versus Tigers ace lefty Tarek Skubal, which actually broke a playoff record set earlier this very postseason by Trey Savage. Top of the sixth, Javier Baez would lead off with a first pitch double to center field. A hustling play punctuated by an excellent slide around a tag. This chased George Kirby from the game, bringing lefty Gabe Spear in to face Kerry Carpenter, the only Tiger with a hit to this point besides Baez. And he would deliver, crushing a center-cut fastball 411 feet to center field, giving his team the lead with one swing of the bat. Scoob would then hop right back on the mound and punch out 2 more, ending his night with 13 strikeouts in 6 innings of one-run baseball, making him the only pitcher in Major League history with multiple 13 strikeout games in one postseason. And man, you could tell Seattle was happy that he was out, as they would score their very next time at bat in the bottom of the 7th, with birthday boy Leo Rivas, he of just 39 regular season hits in his career, knocking an RBI single with 2 outs. And from here, for the next 3 innings, nothing much would come to pass in terms of threats, with only 2 guys reaching one time in the 8th, which the Tigers couldn't do anything with. This takes us to the bottom of the 10th, when rookie Troy Melton pulled off the first high-wire act of the night, giving up a leadoff double to Victor Robles down the right field line on his very first pitch. But, like I said, the motif of extra innings was bend but don't break. A pop-out, strikeout, and ground-out, with a Cal Raleigh intentional walk mixed in there, resulted in Seattle coming away empty-handed. And for a moment, it looked like the Tigers might be able to take this momentum and do something with it, as Kerry Carpenter, who had just a monster game in this one, grounded a leadoff single into center field before going to second on the first passed ball by catcher Raleigh all season. But, just like the M's, nothing would end up coming of this after a line-out, fly-out, and strikeout. The Tigers would do the exact same thing in the 12th, this time with 2 guys on and nobody out, as after a Parker Meadows bunt moved both runners up, it was Javier Baez's turn to ground into a fielder's choice, then Gleyber Torres's to fly to shallow right. And while certainly the offense was embarrassing throughout, I'm seeing a ton of people want to clown on the Tigers right now for their performance in this one, but you absolutely cannot deny that they certainly had some clutch pitching as well, as Cater Montero, in his second inning of work, got into a 2 guys on, no-out jam himself, and managed to get out of it with a double play. And Jack Flaherty, a starter on in relief because they'd gotten so deep into the ballgame, did the same thing in the next inning, after walking his first 2 batters. Detroit's last real opportunity in this one would come in the 14th, when Dylan Dingler doubled down the left field line, before being stranded via strikeout and pop-out. Tiger's backstop would then add to his highlight reel with a ridiculously good throw in the bottom of that inning, a missile to second base to nab Victor Robles attempting to steal. 14 innings in, that's just a ridiculous play. This takes us to our final frame, the 15th, when, after the Tigers' top of the order went down with a whimper, Seattle stormed out yet again, getting 2 runners on with nobody out after a single and hit by pitch. A lineout from Raleigh would push both runners up after a throwing error by Parker Meadows, influencing A.J. Hinch to walk Julio Rodriguez. This set the stage perfectly for Game 2 hero, Jorge Polanco, to come through with a walk-off single. A missile shot through the right side at 110 miles an hour, sending Seattle to their first ALCS since 2001. This brings us to the moment I referenced in the intro, as not too long after the game officially ended, Dan Dickerson, the Tigers' longtime radio play-by-play guy, was caught on a hot mic saying this.
Dan and I will be back to talk about it after this on the Detroit Tigers radio network.
And fragile.
I don't have to do a game. Oh,
He's
fuck.
We get tired.
Fuck this game recap. Oh,
And
I'm sorry.
sometimes
Was that out
you get
loud?
sick.
3, 2, 1.
I think this perfectly captured the mood of every Tigers fan watching from around the country. A long, fruitless game that ended in pretty much the most heartbreaking way possible. And believe me, as somebody who personally has gotten back into the Detroit fandom over the last couple months, as I originally hail from Michigan, I felt this deeply, especially because I, lucky enough, actually was there. Regardless, congratulations to the Mariners, who absolutely earned their shot at playing for the chance to go to their first World Series in franchise history, and potentially win the whole damn thing.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching, have a great rest of your day.